you're new to bag making, then I would want to show you some materials, and I'll be introducing you to the materials shortly. We have the EVA foam. I think I've seen two colors so far. This is the gray, there's also the white, and then it comes in various thicknesses. Then we also have the webbing. It's also called belts. Okay, so locally when you get to the market, you tell them you want to get belts and they bring this for you. We have the school bag adjuster. So this is the one that adjusts the handle for the school bag. So the school bag adjuster usually looks like this. Then we also have the piping. Okay, so this is called piping or pipe or cord, but usually when you get to the local market, tell them you want to get piping, and this is what they'll give to you. So this is piping. It gives back structure, and you also have your zip. Okay, so this is your zip cloth. This is sold in yards for bags. You also be needing this as well as the zipper head for your bag. A school bag leather. When you get to the market and you tell them that you want to buy school bag leather, this is the type of leather that they are going to sell to you. It comes in various prints, usually very thick, because it is believed that when used in school bags, it is more durable. This is what we are going to be using to make the backpack in this tutorial. So cut the bag fabric for the pattern, then also cut for the front pocket as well using the pattern. Then for the front pocket, that's what you're sewing first. You're going to mark the midpoint at the top and at the base of the front compartment. You're going to take your piping and you take a piece of leather, place it on the mid part at the bottom side of the front pocket, and you're going to sew your piping around starting from that middle. So your piece of leather is going to be on top of your leather, and then you place the piping on it and you sew around. So there's a flat end on the piping, that's where you're going to sew on, and that's where you're going to make your stitches on, and then you sew around and end it where you started from. So you're going to cut it such that it kisses where you started from, and you use the piece of leather to cover the part where you ended your piping. So once you've done that, the next thing is you're going to take your zip, okay, for the zip for the zip gusset of the front pocket, and you're going to place the front side of your zip is going to face the front side of your bag fabric, that's leather in this case, and you're going to sew that first. So once you've sewn that, then you're going to top stitch on the leather such that the leather slips on the zip, and you're going to stitch that. So you top stitch on it. So once you're done with that, you're going to trim off the zip, and then you're going to place the base side of the gusset. You're going to place it on the front side because the zip has added to the width of the gusset, so you have to trim it off. So you trim part of the leather off so that the width at the top, the width of the zip compartment is the same with that of the base. Then you insert your zip head. So insert the zip head into the front, into the zip compartment, and then you make the face, right, the right side to face the right side of the base, and then you sew. Once you're done sewing, you then top stitch. So once you've top stitched like that, it becomes flat. Then you're going to mark the midpoint of the zip compartment. So the zip compartment, you're going to mark the midpoint on the two ends, that's on the zip and on the leather part. Then the part where you marked, that's where you're going to place on the marked side of the front compartment, and you're going to sew round. So you sew the gusset round on the front compartment, and when you get to the side where the both are meant to join together, you make them to meet at a point, right? So the zip part as well, then make them meet at a point, and then mark where to sew. So once you've marked where to sew, you can then join the zip part and the base part of the gusset together at that point, so that you do not have excess allowance left for sewing, or that your gusset is now too short. So once you've done that, you're also going to top stitch on that. So you top stitch on the base part. So the base part is going to be the one that you're top stitching on, while the zip part is going to be lying flat underneath the base part of the gusset. Okay, so once you've done that, the next thing is to finish with the sewing round. So you conclude with that, and there you have your gusset attached to your front pocket. So here we have the front pocket piped, and the next thing is to place it on the front of the bag. So you're going to mark the midpoint for the gusset base as well. So using the part you marked already on the front pocket, that's where how you're going to mark the gusset. Then on the front compartment in front of the bag, you're also going to mark the midpoint at the top and at the base. So you're going to match the marked point, the midpoint that you marked, you're going to match it with that of the front pocket, the gusset of the front pocket, and that informs your placement of the front pocket. So you're going to fold the edge. As you're sewing, you fold the edge of the front pocket and then you stitch. So you stitch it following the exact shape. So your stitching has to follow the exact shape of the front pocket, and then you place it on your bag. So we are done placing the front. Been able to pipe the bag, right? We've piped the front pocket and then we've piped the body of the bag. Now the major essence of putting piping on the bag is so that the shape comes out, right? So that it does not push inward. If you sew it without piping, it's going to push inward like this. So we want the shape to come out as it is. That is why we have put this piping on it, and it has worked to a large extent. And I've also done the tape and the piping for the major body of the bag, so it's going to make the shape to come out. It's not going to push in after sewing. Now you can see that the shape is not well defined as much as what we have on our pattern, and the causes of this is that when you're piping your bag, if the bag fabric is stronger than the piping, then the bag fabric is going to control the piping. That means the piping is not going to be able to push out the bag fabric. So you can see what is going on here, that is pushing inward. Some places are not coming out very well, so that's because the bag fabric is stronger than the piping. The solution to this is that you cover your piping with a leather, so it makes your piping to be much more stronger, and then it does the work that it's supposed to do, and then it pushes this out the more. So these are the things that you want to take note of. Also, we have cut the gusset for the major body of the bag, and the width is 6 inches. Also for the base part of the gusset, it's also 6 inches. Then I'm going to take the zip compartment and divide it into 2 parts. So you take one of the parts first and then you put your zip on it. So the same way that you place the zip for the front compartment is the same way you're going to do it. So the front side of the zip, you make it to face the front side of the bag fabric, and then you're going to sew on the edges. So you sew on the zip cloth and you sew to the end. So after you've sewn that, you're going to open it up and then you're going to top stitch on the leather. So you make the leather to fold on the zip cloth, and then you also top stitch on that towards from the top to the end. Once you're done, you cut off the zip, and this is what you would have. So on the second side as well, with the second part, with the second side of the zip compartment, you're going to do the same thing that you did for the first one. So you sew the zip cloth to the other side and then you top stitch on it. So you make the leather, the back fabric, to fold on the zip cloth, and then you stitch. This is what it looks like by the time you're done. Next thing you want to do is you want to put your zipper head into the zip cloth, and then you're going to have to use 2 zipper pulls for this. So it's called zip head, or it's also called zipper pull, or a zipper. So you insert your zipper and you make them to meet at the middle. Ensure that the zipper keys very well in the middle, and then you bring in the base part of the gusset and you place it, the right side facing the right side. Then you stitch it together. After stitching, you top stitch on the base part of it so that it lies on the zip part of the gusset. Then you can also make a twin stitch, that's a parallel stitch, just for design sake. Then you find the middle part of the zip gusset, the zip part of the gusset, and you look for the middle. So you mark it, just make a V mark on the middle part of the zip gusset. So you bring in the front of your bag that you've attached your front pocket to, and you make the middle part where you marked on both the front compartment of the bag and on the gusset, on the zip gusset. So you bring them together, make them meet at that point, and then you start stitching from there on. So you stitch round, stitch the gusset, that's the zip compartment and the base, stitch it together with the front compartment of the bag. So I like to sew following the line that I used for my piping. Okay, so I'd use the cream thread so that you can see the line that I'm following, but ideally you should use the color of the material that you're using to sew every part that you're going to be sewing. So I'm following the thread line of the piping that I made earlier, so that the stitch line is not showing outside on the piping. So once you've sewn it to an extent, you stop it before you get to the end, and then you continue from the other part, that's from the zip gusset, so you continue from there, and then when you're about getting to the end, you bring the base part together with the zip part, and then you look for where they both meet and you mark that. So I'm going to be taking my pen to mark where they overlap, so that I can trim the excess away. So once you get that part, you can now trim the excess on the gusset away, and then you bring the zip part and the base part of the gusset, bring them together and stitch it. So I do this stitching because I do not want any one of them to be excess, so I don't want to get my measurements wrong. So once you've joined them, you also remember to top stitch and then make a twin stitch so that it rhymes with the first gusset. Then you can finish up the sewing. In order to cut the shoulder strap for the school bag, that is the handle you're going to use to carry the school bag, handle should be the height of the bag. That is what determines how long the handle of your backpack should be, is how chubby, how fat the person that is going to be carrying the bag is. If the person that is going to be carrying the bag is a lot fat, the length to take from here to here is not going to be as much as somebody that is chubby. So the person is going to take more height. Where the handle is going to get to for the person that is chubby or that is bigger than myself, it may get to this place. Why, if I carry the same bag, it may get here for me. So that is one of the things you put into consideration when you're making handle for your bag. So if it is a small child's bag, you know that the handle should get here when the old handle is released. I mean, when the bag is dropped, the handle should still get towards this side of the bag. In order to cut all those having to measure the child, when you're not a tailor, that means you now start measuring the child you want to sew the bag for and everything like that. Basically, just use this shortcut. Use the height of the bag, so it could be left or exactly the height of the bag. This is the handle of the bag. I've cut it in two places. I've also cut the EVA foam and then a lining for the handle, for the strap of the bag. So you place the major fabric on the EVA foam, and then the lining will be the last part. Then you're going to take your webbing and then you're going to fold it on the edge of the handle, and you're going to sew that round. You also do the same thing for the second handle. So following the same way you did the first one, that's how you're also going to do the second one. You place the back fabric on the EVA foam, and then the lining is going to be the last one. So the lining is also going to be a leather. It can be the exact leather that you're using for your back fabric, or it can be a leather that is similar in color. Then you're going to cut 6 inches webbing in 2 places. So I've cut 6 inches webbing in 2 places, and I'm burning the edges so that it doesn't loosen after. You're going to take your bag adjuster, and the top part of the lines in the bag adjuster, that's where you're going to fix in your webbing. So that's where it's going to hold the webbing, the bag adjuster, to the handle, to the strap of the bag. Okay, so you make the lower part to be shorter so that you can fold the top part so that the edges of your webbing is not being seen outside, and then you position it on the handle, on the strap of your backpack, and you're going to stitch it. So you can stitch it as many times as you think would make the handle to be durable. So you can just create a rectangular stitching and then a star stitch in the middle. So you do this for the 2 straps of the bag. Also, you're going to cut 16 to 18 inches webbing for the lower part of the handle of the bag. So you're going to cut that in 2 places as well, and you're going to burn the edges so that it does not loosen out, because this belt, it can loosen on its own, and that's the end of the bag. So you're going to take a rectangular leather, and then you're going to fold it such that you put the webbing in between it, and you just watch closely as I'm doing it, and that's how you're going to do the lower parts of the handle for your backpack. So you're going to stitch it well so that the webbing does not loosen from the leather. So you have to reinforce the stitching, and then you create a V shape once you're done with that. So fold the leather into 2, sandwich the belt into it, sew it, then turn it outside. You turn it so that the right side comes out. So that means you're sewing on the wrong side first, then you turn it out, turn it in so that the right side is out, and then you reinforce the stitch by top stitching. So you also burn your thread with lighter, then you cut into V shape just the way I did. So on the body of the back of the bag, you're going to find the midpoint. So you're going to mark the midpoint, make a V mark on the midpoint, or any marking that you can possibly do. Then you position your strap on the back of the bag. So position your strap from the middle, ensure that it is well measured, right? You can use your eyes and you can use your tape. So you also cut 7 inches webbing. So I'm using 7 inches. You can use less and you can use more. So that's just going to be the top handle, the hanger for the backpack, and you put that in the middle of the 2 straps. So once you're done with that, you bring your bag back into shape, right, and burn the webbing. So the webbing that we used to bind the handle of the bag, that's what I've just used lighter to burn so that it doesn't loosen after. So I'm measuring 2 inches from the base of the bag, so that just after the curve that we made, that's where we're going to be putting the lower handle. And watch closely how the handle is writing X. Okay, so the handle has to face up. The webbing on the lower part of the handle, it has to face up. So this is what it's going to look like. Then once you're done with that, take a piece of leather, put it on the middle part of the lower side of the bag, and then place your piping on it. So you're going to pipe around just the same way that we piped the front pockets as well as the front compartment of the bag. So you're going to pipe your bag around. So it looks like when you're done piping your bag, and then you can see, so the handles are under the piping, they're sandwiched in between the piping and the major compartment of the bag. So you're going to make your handle, so put the webbing into the adjuster. Once you're done doing that, you're going to fold the webbing into a specific thickness such that it doesn't come out of the adjuster again. So you also fold the second one as well into a specific thickness that you're sure will not come out of the adjuster again, so that your bag does not start falling off the shoulder when it is adjusted to the maximum. Then you're going to take the front compartment that already has the side gusset on it, and you're going to place it on the back compartment that we just made. So the middle mark that we made, so the one on the gusset compartment and the one on the back compartment, you're going to bring them together and you're going to start sewing from there. So you're going to sew the gusset round just the same way you did for the front compartment, and that's how you're going to do it for the back compartment as well. So you sew the gusset round the back compartment. So once you're done sewing, you end the sewing where you started it from, and then you cut off all loose threads, and you can now turn out your bag. Okay, you can see the width of the bag, burn every loose threads, cut the ones you have to cut, and then you turn your bag out, or is it out or inwards? So just turn it in. Yeah, I think it's turn it in. This is the outcome of it. I've stuffed things inside and you actually see what the shape looks like. We have the front pocket, we have the zip compartment, and you see where the zip met with. So we all started from the pattern of the bag, and this is where we ended it at. Can you see? So even though the pattern looked small in the beginning, can you see how big the bag is? And I told you, the more the space you want in your bag, the more you increase the width of the bag. I believe that I've been able to break down the complicated processes that goes into making a backpack into something that you also can easily follow, and you can also replicate your own backpack. Subsequent tutorials, we're going to be making more backpacks, and we would love you to be part of. We also love to see your reviews. So please, if you're able to practice, somewhere around this video you will see the phone number where you can join our WhatsApp platform and get to interact with other people making bags. You can also bring your questions into our WhatsApp group where we'll be able to answer these questions. Ensure that you're subscribed to the channel. Also ensure that you turn on the notification so that whenever there is a tutorial, you'll be one of the first persons to be notified that there is a new tutorial. See you in the next video.